What happened when the popular girl in high school was replaced by an even more attractive / popular girl? One day we were all sitting in class, bored out of our minds trying to pay attention to all the historical gibberish our teacher was saying, while all of a sudden we have a new student coming in. Oh, I almost forgot. Everyone, this is Cassie and she will be with us for the rest of the year. The teacher said she transferred from Belgium to continue with her studies while her dad is here with work. Please make sure you give a warm welcome to Cassie. Cassie had this velvet blonde hair and big blue eyes with a shy but cute smile. She truly outranked all the girls in our class, even the self-entitled Queen Gemma. Me and my mates were exchanging glances. We were all thinking the same thing, and obviously all of us found her attractive. The race was on. After the first couple of weeks, Cassie started to get a lot of attention from everyone. Everyone was really interested how Belgium was like, and how school is out there, if she plans to move here for good. Some people were even buying her lunch saying that we should show more hospitality with new students in our school, like we ever done that for somebody else lol. Anyway, she became quite popular really quick. She remarked herself with her beauty, and she was also really kind and easy to talk to. After a while, I have noticed how she got close with one of my classmates. They were always having lunch together and spent time in the library to study alongside one another before a test. You know how the school environment is. Everybody starts to talk as soon as they notice something because their lives are too boring, so they are keeping tabs on other people. So, Cassie and my classmate became the hot topic among gossips. Are they together? Do they fancy each other? This was a hot topic because my classmate was dating Gemma at the time. Gemma was the most attractive girl in our class before Cassie came around. She enjoyed getting all the attention from everyone, but ever since the new student came about with her shiny blonde hair, Gemma was sort of forgotten. I think that hurt her ego, that she wasn't getting as much attention. She started to become bitter to other people, always implying that somebody took her place. I always thought that was really arrogant, and that she had some high school princess complex. I usually try to stay away from all this nonsense, but this situation in particular caused a bit of drama, which at the end of the day, we can all have a laugh about it. Gemma started to notice that Cassie and her boyfriend are hanging out more often, so she became really jealous and throwing up tantrums, acting mean to Cassie. What topped it all was this one time during lunchtime, when she knocked over Cassie's food tray, accusing her of stealing her boyfriend. She also told her that ever since she came to this school, things haven't been the same. Cassie looked disturbed and quite shocked by the whole scene, not knowing how to reply. Everyone was embarrassed and nobody knew how to react. Cassie went on hesitantly saying sorry, sounding a bit uncertain if she should apologize or not. She didn't have any reasons to lol. Next thing you know, Gemma starts to throw with food in Cassie. She was literally grabbing food from her tray and started throwing it into Cassie. Everybody went absolutely mad and got back at Gemma with a reply of their own. Food was flying everywhere and Gemma was covered in pie. Few brief moments later, the principal comes into the cafeteria and takes Gemma to his office. Everybody was left alone, except for Gemma. The principal looked on the CCTV and saw that she initiated everything. She was given detention for the rest of the year. I acted like I was sorry for her, but deep down, I was glad. Karma has been served. We all had our bullies back in school, but the bully of my school was a bit different than your average bully. She was a girl. Now, you wouldn't usually imagine a sweet looking girl bullying you for your lunch man, but oh boy, she was ruthless. I remember how she won the school dance contest in 7th grade. She bragged for months about how she is the most talented dancer in the team, and how everybody appreciates her for how beautiful she is. I'm not saying that she wasn't all of those things, but she was too arrogant about it, and it came out wrong. Anyway, people from school started to notice her and dancing performances. Also, most boys in my class used to chase her. She started to get quite popular, and she began participating in national championships, winning trophy after trophy. The championships used to be held all around the country, but this one time they landed around our area and asked us to host the event. The pressure was now on our colleague to prove herself and maybe make it beyond doing what she loves, dancing. However, the unfortunate story is that she failed to qualify. The competition was just too fierce, and they had way better choreographers. She felt like a complete embarrassment for the school and to herself. She quit going to dance classes or any other dance competitions after that. Nobody talked about it much after it happened. The next school year she shows up with a pink mohawk. She said that she found her true sport and she's doing kickboxing now and this is her new style. She was known for causing chaos in the yard and bully everybody. For some reason, boys were into her because she looked pretty and seemed confident. Also, in the same beginning of school year, we also had a new student joining our class. She was an exchange student from Asia. She always seemed really polite and well spoken despite the language differences. More and more people started to get interested by her and her stories about different cultures and the places she traveled at such a young age. She had this way of drawing you, an interesting character indeed. I remember what time when them two got into an argument. The arrogant girl accused the exchange student that all her stories are lies and she just want to impress everyone. She continued saying that if she makes any further attempts to lie about a story, she will beat her. The girl replied, said to leave right now. As a response to her calmness, my pink mohawk colleague marched towards her in an intimidating manner. In a split of a second the exchange student immobilized her arm with a swift grappling technique. The other girl started panicking and demanded to be left alone. The girl repeated and demanded again, leave now, please. I've thought to myself, that was the smoothest way of handling a bully. Turns out she had a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu and won a few championships in her day. Never mess with the exchange student. Back in high school everything used to be like a fashion show. Everybody always interested in looks and worrying about appearances. We had this girl named Jennifer who ended up prom queen for 3 years straight. She and her mom used to be involved in organizing the prom and taking costs for the high school in return for a bit of a popularity show. In the first year Jennifer seemed like the perfect student. She was always sitting in the first bench, answering questions and getting good grades. Second year is when she started to notice that she was becoming more popular, getting invited to parties and dates. She used to date some classmates of mine. They've said she was arrogant towards them and always leaving after the first few weeks. She didn't know what she wanted and she was only playing with people and everybody was interested in her being the prom queen and all of that. In the 4th year of high school, I remember how they built a new factory in town offering hundreds of jobs. A lot of people moved in, so we had a few new classmates. The one that remarked herself the most was Lily. She was tall with an angelic look. She also used to play football which drove the boys crazy, and she was pretty great at it actually. More people started hanging around with Lily and everybody seemed to like her very much. Jennifer took note of that. The prom was approaching and everyone was invited, as long as you have a partner. This rule wanted to encourage the senior to bring a date to prom. Jennifer was supposed to go with her boyfriend, while Lily had not been invited to prom yet. On Tuesdays there was football practice. Both Lily and Jennifer's boyfriend were in class. As a friend, I told Lily that a girl has to take initiative sometimes, so she did. After the football class ended, she approached him and asked him if he would go to prom with her. His face dropped. He thought about it, then he accepted. He was probably thinking, why waste it on Jennifer when she was being rude all the time? Plus, he was most definitely impressed by a girl asking him out. So, as the rules went, if you do not have a partner you cannot turn up for prom as a senior. Jennifer ended up with no partner because everybody else realized that she's just been abusing everybody and only wanted to win the contest for the 4th time. Ironically, Lily ended up winning prom queen that night. I can't even begin to describe how Jennifer reacted to this. Uncertain why, but for some reason it felt like sweet justice. I used to attend this fancy private school. Most of my colleagues got expensive cars at 16 years old and used to flex them around in the parking lot. It became a fashion between popular students to show up with a more impressive car. It was your usual popularity contest. I remember this girl having a brand new SLK pink Mercedes. Absolutely stunning. Too bad it was pink though, but it sort of sweetened her personality. She used to be one of the most popular and gorgeous girls out there. Nobody knew much about her. Some people said she made the money for the car hanging around with rich people after school. You can't know. You can't judge. Nevertheless, she was always the girl with the attitude. You would think that private school is full of arrogant rich students. While most of them truly are like this, the one that I was attending was an exception. Everyone seemed well educated and polite. Academically speaking, the curriculum was also challenging. Anyway, I could always hear her, on the school corridors, bragging about her car. Most of them were impressed and hanged around her, because they also wanted to know how it is to drive a Benz at 16. She had her own following, you could say. In the second semester of school year, this new student turns up. She moved from California, and she drove an old Mustang that, according to her, it used to belong to her grandfather who passed away, and she promised it would take good care of the car. It was an emotional story and the car was superb. She was very charismatic. There's something about cute girls that drives fast cars. As I was saying, she turned up in this Mustang, and she caught a lot of looks. Everybody was wondering who this new girl was. She had long curly hair and a black leather top. The school parking was quite small, so it happens that she parked on one of the few spaces available, which was right next to that bling bling looking thing of that pink SLK. After classes, the new student was going to get her car from the parking lot when she noticed the other girl waited by the Mercedes. My friends and I were around, so we heard the conversation. Pretty narrow parking, right? It looks fine to me. I did not touch your car or anything. Maybe you didn't, she replied. But you still parked too close. You are just new around here. You don't know how things work. You have not earned the right to park here. Excuse me? She jumped. It is my right to park here, as much as it is yours. Now move away, so I can get to my car. Fine, the girl with the pink car said. You can take your piece of junk away. The new student was quick to reply. Believe me, this piece of junk will smoke your pretty, perfect looking car. You wish, novice. Let's put it to the test. If I beat you in a straight line, you won't ever park here again. Deal. The new student said confidently. If I win, you will leave me alone throughout my stay here, and I get to park wherever I want. I couldn't believe the exchange I was hearing. I followed them as they were closely approaching the road to make an exit out of the parking lot. There was a stretch of road that led through a little forest out of school premises. That's where they have decided to race each other. Usually, nothing interesting happened to school. Probably a fight here and there. Then some parent paid a huge sum to the principal and things went back to normal. However, nothing even close to this. I knew it was big, so I texted a couple of friends. They all gathered around quickly. The Mercedes was left in smoke by the Mustang. No questions asked. Who in their right mind races a Mustang in a straight line anyway? Next day at school, everybody talked about it. The new student gained a lot of respect and was becoming more popular. I guess it's not about the money as much as it is about style. One of the craziest memories I have from high school was about this new student that moved to our class. She used to play volleyball, so she looked athletic and pretty. There was a lot of gossip among the boys that she was liked by most of them. The most popular girl in school at the time found out about this and got jealous. She told the new student that she is the most beautiful girl in school and nobody will take her place. She continued saying that she could have any boy she wants. The new girl simply replied that she is not interested in such things and she wishes to be alone. Our arrogant colleague got triggered and replied, I'm going to show you. You will see. Everybody was confused about the whole situation. It turns out she dated as many guys as she could, just so she can say that a lot of people were interested in her, so she would feel beautiful and wanted, while in reality she never had feelings for anyone. Talking about ego issues, right? The new girl minded her own business, not judging her character. A lot of people in school started talking about the arrogant girl and her behavior, so she started losing popularity among peers. She understood that hurting people around you won't bring you friends. It was pretty self-explanatory anyway. Year later after graduation, I found out that she eventually got married shortly after school. Unfortunately, 4 years later she separated from her husband and was left with 2 kids on her own. While for the new student, she moved back home eventually. We were part of the volleyball team and we remained good friends. Sometimes, she sends me Christmas cards wishing me well, and she attaches one of her family photos with all of them wearing matching sweatshirts, just to show me how quickly kids grow. We should all try to build better things.